I hit the punching bag, feeling the force reverberate through my arm, across my back. I step to the side and hit again. Sweat drips down my bare chest, runs in rivulets down my back. I may not be able to run anymore, but I'll be damned if I'm going to let myself get out of shape. My breath comes fast, a jolt of adrenaline coursing through me. Slam! My fist hits with a low thud, and the chain clinks. I drop to the ground and knock out 20 push-ups. It's late afternoon, and this is my second workout today, but I felt too restless to sit around. My phone rings, so I get up to answer it. "Hi, Mom." "Hi, Hunter," she says. "Can you pick up some bread on your way over tonight?" "Family dinner." "Sure. What kind?" "French." "You got it." "Thanks, honey," she says. "I'll see you in a couple hours." "Yeah, Mom. See you then." I hang up and grab a towel to wipe off my face. Technically, Maureen isn't my mom, but in every way that matters, she is. My dad took off when I was a baby, and I was not an easy child. My mother was single, working 2 jobs, and the Jacobsons became my second family. I spent more time at their house than I did at my own, going there after school and staying until my mom got off work. They bought their younger son Ryan bunk beds, so I had a place to sleep when I stayed over, which was about half the time. Then my mother got sick, and I hardly ever went home. Maureen and Ed took care of me while my mom went through chemo, and when it didn't work, and cancer took her, I just stayed with them. I was 13 at the time, and didn't have any other relatives. There was never a formal adoption, and I've always kept my last name, Evans, mostly to honor my mother. But Maureen was Mom. I didn't actually call her Mom when I was a kid. I never felt like I had a right to, despite the way they took me in without question, and loved me as much as they loved Cody and Ryan. I felt like an outsider. They introduced me as their son, but I called them Maureen and Ed until the day I left home to join the Marines. The first time I called her Mom, I was an adult. It was the day I called and asked if I could come back. I was in the hospital, recovering from surgery after a car accident when I was serving overseas. I knew a medical discharge was coming. It was my 3rd surgery, and the doctors had told me I would never get back to where I was before. I lay there, staring at the harsh fluorescent lights above the bed, and knew it was time I faced my past. I'd left them without a word, sneaking out of the house late at night, leaving nothing but a note. 9 years later, it was time. I called Maureen. "Mom, can I please come home?" She cried. I cried, and I could admit that without the slightest bit of shame. I was battered and broken and heartsick. It was time to go home. To my absolute amazement, the Jacobsons welcomed me back. Okay, so Ryan hit me the first time he saw me, but it was no less than I deserved. Once we had a chance to hash things out, both of the Jacobson brothers were glad I was home. And I've spent the last year or so trying to repay the debt I owe them, knowing I'll never be able to.